Good morning. It's on. Okay, let's get started. So today, Friday, March 20th, what I'm looking at, 5 things to know before the market opens. We've got stocks pointing lower as major indexes on pace for the fourth straight week of losses. This doesn't really mean anything. They're pointing lower right now. Anything can happen during the day. Oil prices slip after volatile session on Thursday. This is something I was looking at. I was looking at oil futures this morning and took I'm going to be starting futures on Monday and took a sim trade that worked out very quickly in oil this morning. So there was a gap up and then a dip. Actually, I may as well share it right now. Let's look at it. MCL. This is what I was looking at. So there was a big gap up around midnight, and then it came back down around 3 p.m. Sorry, that was noon yesterday. And then, yeah, I'm on the 2-minute. That's why. Let's go to the 5 here. Actually, let's start with the 30. So oil price has been incredibly volatile. What I was looking at this morning was this extreme here and this extreme here. Excuse me. Drew the fibs from here to here, was looking at a 50% retracement. This is the 50 right here. This is where it gapped into that 50% retracement, zoomed into the 2-minute candles, waited for a bearish candle, which actually this one was bearish, but I actually waited here for a fair value gap to form, which it did. Entry at the fair value gap, stop above the wicks, aimed for 3R, and within entry was at 626, profit at 3R was at 716. So this is something that I'm testing out. I'm going to be starting on Monday. If anybody's interested in that, that's what I'll be doing starting Monday. I'm going to map out what it is I'm going to be doing. I'll do it today. I'll share just in point form what the morning sessions are going to be moving forward. FedEx stock, we had said they had earnings after hours yesterday, so they surged on good earnings. SMCI is plummeting, down 25% this morning on the fact that some of the founders may have done something illegal, and that's about it. As far as earnings are concerned, there's not much going on, and the economic calendar, same thing. I've made sure to reload. I don't like that they don't show the date on here. It says current time 9/11, but you know that could have been data from yesterday's date. So while I'm on here on investing.com/calendar, I just hit F5. Just make sure to reload it. My filters are still on, so it's given me only Canada, the UK, and the US. And there's nothing with 3 stars, nothing incredibly important going on this morning. So we've done all this. I'm going to look at the higher time frame on my 10 tickers, which that will change. I'm going to still do it next week and moving forward, because I'm going to be trading equities as well as options as well as futures. But I'm going to be doing a futures top step combine starting on Monday, and I'm going to share the journey in here for anybody who's interested. And then what didn't work yesterday, I took a 1-hour loss on a golden zone continuation on QQQ, testing out that strategy. which is what I just described in oil futures, testing it out on the Qs as well as stocks. When I test out, I like to do it with small size, with skin in the game. Otherwise, I find that it's just, you can get into trades when it's just paper trading. I just don't like how I trade when I paper trade. So there are some things that I will do in paper trading, like what I did with the CL this morning. That was paper trading. But yesterday's trade on the Qs here, testing out my strategy, that was an actual trade. So that was it. Still green on the week. So not looking at taking much today, especially the fact that I'm going to be switching gears as of Monday. I've traded futures in the past and wanted to trade options. I did that for 2025 and the first couple months of 2026. We'll still keep it on screen for now, but shifting towards futures because, well, for many reasons, and I'll be sharing next week why I'm doing that. So, good morning, Evo. I just heard you walk in here. Good morning. Hopefully, you had a good day yesterday.
Good morning, Jill. Yeah, it was lovely. I went to the beach.
Nice. You're rubbing it in. You see me wearing a long sleeve sweater and, this longest winter ever over here. But anyway, we're coming out of it.
Yeah, no trades for me. I missed that one trade that I shared in the screenshots.
Yeah, we were looking at it too. We were looking at AMD at the bottom here yesterday on the 5-minute. This is actually one of my favorite strategies. It's the kangaroo tail long. For me to enter over here, I like to see the close of the 5-minute candle being closer to the top. I love the fact that it wicked down. It came down and took liquidity. It did not take out the liquidity from way back, but it came pretty darn close. So yeah, this was a miss on my part as well. But yeah, it happens. It put in a nice structure of breaking out, retesting, breaking out, retesting, continuation, retesting, continuation. It's a perfect picture of a long, right? And the exit on this for me, just as a side note, would have been, just trying to put a line here. We can see that it made new highs and then pulled back. Had it broken, like if you're long on this, I usually on equities, I usually aim for 3R. If I get the 3R really quickly, I'll take 80% off and I'll leave the 20% to run, possibly all day. And when to take it off for me is if it breaks a structure. So had it come, see how there's an obvious line over here. Yes, that line would not have been there unless this was put in. Right? So how do you put it in before? Well, you look at structure over here. You see how we've got support and then resistance, and then it broke through. So you put a line here and you let it run. Right? If it breaks down below here, then I would have taken off my last 20%. But then you trail it. Right, you trail that 20% and you see that you've got a pullback here. It's less than 50% pullback. So you bring your levels over here. If it breaks down below here, if you've got a 5-minute candle that closes below here, then you're changing your breaking structure and you're possibly moving back down. So that 20% remaining on the in shares, you could take that off. So instead of taking it off at 3R over here, you've made another R possibly. And then you just keep going. Maybe not with a line like this. It's just something that you can see once you're used to these charts. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up. That was something that I wanted to share as far as what could have worked. This was a nice structure on AMD yesterday. So I'm going to bring my trading view. With 5 minutes before the opening bell, I just want to share different levels on on Apple. Again, all I'm looking at is room to the left. So from where price is right now, there's room to the left below price. So this could be an interesting area of support, but it could also become a breakdown and retest area. So this area here on Apple, and I've already looked at it, it's on many shares again today. This could be an interesting area. Let's put a rectangle down here. So from the low of yesterday to the low of pre-market, and Apple seems to be moving already with 5 minutes. It's difficult to avoid FOMO when you see candles like this forming 5 minutes before the open. I'm getting flashbacks from when I used to get FOMO and get into these. Talking like this 5 minutes before the open and 5 minutes, 10 minutes after the open avoids that. So I've done it before, and it's, for me, not worth it. So that's the level, excuse me, that's the level I'm looking at on Apple. I'll be looking at that once the market opens. AMD, we just looked at, broke out yesterday, broke structure over here, broke the high over here, and then came back and retested this in pre-market. And it is making new highs. I'll be curious to see what happens above yesterday's high. Right, so maybe I'm not going to put an alert because it's right there right now. So what does it do at this level? It's already above yesterday's R4, close to yesterday's R6. It's strong. So it's in the pre-market. Some people do trade this in the pre-market. Buying at this retest over here could be a good trade. But I'll be looking at what does it do at yesterday's high. Amazon. Amazon was breaking down 2 days ago. Yesterday was pretty much just going sideways. It is at a level that could be support. I'm going to put this rectangle over here. It was the low of a few days ago, and even if we bring it back, right, we can see that this is an area of interest. Above price, I don't really like it. However, if it makes it above yesterday's high, it could be an interesting level, but it's just been chopping around sideways. So not really interested in Amazon right now. Google, below price, not a lot of room to the left. Unless it comes back to the lows of pre-market. Let's draw in this rectangle again. Maybe even just started over here. We wicked down here and then found buyers. But even when we found buyers, it was just choppy. Right? Choppy, went up a little bit and then came down and in pre-market tested over here. If it makes it up to yesterday's high, 308.05 area, would be an interesting area again, either for long or potential short, depending on how it reacts to that level. Meta, is it Meta? No, it was Microsoft. I found very interesting. So Meta over the last few days has been coming down. It possibly found support in pre-market. For me, it would have to come back down here and retest this level. So Meta, I am going to put an alert if it takes out the lows here, just to see how it reacts to this level. Do we find buyers over here? And if so, it might be along up to the central pivot area and possibly this area of past support. This could be an area of present resistance. Sorry, looking for my words today. Okay, what I was looking at is this choppy action on Microsoft here. This is really interesting. It is at a level here. It tested it in pre-market. It is testing it again. If it breaks down below here and retests, we could be making new lows, and the target would be down here. Put a line here. Whoops, Alt-H. There we go. However, if we do dip down here and then find buyers, this thing could be coming back to the 390 areas. And depending if the market wants to rally today, I mean, we could be making higher highs on Microsoft as well as others. NVIDIA wick down yesterday. If somebody was trading the kangaroo tail on the 30-minute time frame, this could have been an entry. However, that's a massive stop. It would be something more for a swing trade or a position. People are getting into NVIDIA at these levels. Market is open, by the way. Sorry, SMCI down 27%. So those of you who trade the open, good luck. And NVIDIA, I want to see what it does at yesterday's low over here. Do we come and retest this? And then if so, do we start buying here or do we sell off some more? Tesla, zoom out. Tesla's another one that could be finding position buyers. We could be seeing some big money getting into, right? We've got this massive fair value gap over here. I have this big area of liquidity over here. I can only imagine that if we make it down here at a certain point, smart money, big money is going to get involved in Tesla again. This is something that I can imagine will be bought. I mean, that's just my opinion. Alert on Meta, which I'll go look at in a minute. Bit of a choppy action on Qs. I put in this area over here, yesterday's low. We tested it again in pre-market. I'll be looking at this area for possible support or possible rejection, breakdown, and I would possibly get in on the retest. Similar price action on SPY, but we did get below yesterday's low. If we close back down below here, I don't know, doesn't look good for SPY. And that's it for them. Just put that there and that there. What was the alert I just got? It was Microsoft, I believe. And a lot of consolidation. Right? Let's look at Microsoft here. We were consolidating here and then breaking down. So that's a big breakdown. So the people that shorted this area here, that's a $3 move pretty quickly. If it came back up over the next half hour, I might consider this a breakdown and retest of this area because this was support. It could become resistance. However, if we make it way down, then for me, it's not really worth it to wait for it to come all the way back to 386 area. Snap, all-time low, 447. Snapchat's going to be a penny stock before you know it. So there you go. Like I said, just in pre-market earlier, I am unlikely to take anything. I'm green on the week. I might just leave it like that, especially that I'm starting something new on Monday and want to concentrate on that. SMCI. SMCI is an interesting one to look at. So SPY, we're moving down. I'll look at an SMCI in a minute. Qs, I want to see what it does at pre-market low. Same with SPY. AMD, these levels here, all bunched up over here, are very interesting. PDC, pre-market high, yesterday high. If it resists at 206 and we see a sell-off in other things, this could be a short with pre-market low as first target, which might be a little bit difficult to justify considering the wick. Let me get that massive hand out of there. Considering the wick is above 206.30. DJT all-time low. 8.59, another stock that might be a penny stock before we know it. Price action on AMD is very interesting over here. I'd like it to chop around here and then spike up above here and then reject. As far as Camarilla levels are concerned, let's look at AMD. AMD's in the central pivot area right now. These are wide pivots, so we could chop around in here. If it came up to the 208 over here and rejected, I would be very interested because that is the high from March 11th. Right, so that's what I'm looking at here. It might be a long above here. Who knows? Right, but what I'm looking at is a rejection at the tops. If it sets up, by the way. For it to set up for me, it would have, that's a big indecision 5-minute candle here. For it to set up for me, it would have to break up above here and then chop around and just have difficulty finding buyers. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see it take out liquidity above here for all, there's trapped buyers in here, right? They're trapped. They want it to go above 206.25. Their stops, they're long, right? So their stops are, who knows where somebody would have taken a long here, where they would put their stops. Is it down here? So a lot of people took shorts over here, right? So if their stops are right above here. So anybody who went short at the top here, their stops are over here. So there's liquidity there. It's part of the equation of what I look at.
Yeah, when I see a big wick candle, like you mentioned on AMD, I'm also looking at Planet Labs, PL. And that one printed green, but similar. When I see the 5-minute opening candle wick like that, I like to kind of stay away.
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree. It's too early to tell, and
I want to see a strong move in either way, like up or down.
Yeah, you want to see who's in control.
Yeah,
and right now there's absolutely no way of seeing who's in control. I mean, people looking at footprint charts, you would be able to see it. If we put AMD here, we could see if there's any big orders. So there are large orders on the ask. Excuse me. Low R-vol at 61%. We've got high R-vol on everything else, actually very high R-vol, except for Qs and SPY. So this just means that there might have been some massive orders put in right at the open. We have been making new lows. It might be institutions getting out of positions or institutions buying at a discount. And so it's hard to predict what this high volume means.
I think Planet Labs is making a go for the high here. We got some volume building up. And Princeton Green over VWAP. And it's hit its all-time high too.
Yeah, that's one ticker I've never heard of.
Yeah, I've traded a few times in the past. It's been a while, but it's a nicey stock. But yeah, it's gonna punch through.
Yeah. Just price action on NYSE stocks is so different. Yeah. And I find that oftentimes with NYSE stocks, we can set, sorry, let's go over here. And there you go. So you see the NASDAQ stocks on DOS here print a Q, and NYSE stocks print an N. But what I've found with price action on NYSE stocks is that sometimes it'll take 10-15 minutes and then it lights up. It's like the 9:30 bell for them, and I'm generalizing. I mean, from what I remember trading NYSE stocks, it can be very subdued in the first little while, and then all of a sudden it will take off. So I don't trade NYSE stocks very often. Well, not at all anymore, because I'm only in these 10 tickers. So let's leave PL on here. It's interesting to watch. I am looking at AMD. I'd like to see what it does in the next little while. That is a very bearish candle on Apple, below all these levels. It did print below it and did not flush, so that's interesting to see. I am going to put Apple on my screen. Yeah, there was a lot of volume in the first candle. 8.5 million shares traded. So what does that mean? Does it mean there's people dumping their shares, or is it people getting involved because it is on sale? Don't know. If I knew that, then I would get into a position much easier. I'm going to set an alert on AMD. I want to see if it can make it punch up above yesterday's high again. There you go, alert set. And same thing with Microsoft. I want to see, can it come back above here? 385.50 area. Right, if it makes it above this area over here, then I'd be interested to start looking at it. Tesla, big breakdown. Will it come and retest the 376 for the further move down, or is it actually finding support?
You know what's kind of interesting, Jill, is if you look at the SPY and the Qs, the volume for the last 5-minute candle really dropped off, at least on the SPY, substantially.
Yeah, it was that's what I mean. It was the first 5-minute candle, actually the first two 5-minute candles on, on SPY, massive volume. Here, let me bring that up. Massive volume, but with massive volume, you would expect massive candles, right? Even the second one is larger volume than the first, but a tiny little candle here. Right, so I consider that an anomaly. You would think that if people were dumping and putting in this, and please let me know if you agree, you would assume that this candle would be bigger and we'd get a bigger drop. I don't know if that's what you meant.
I would expect the second 5-minute candle had substantially less volume. So I'm just wondering if
I have more volume here. Unless we have different things here.
I'm looking at the 5-minute chart.
Yeah, so am I.
Let's see.
I'm bringing it up on my other platform. Yeah, you're right. On DOS, we have less volume.
Yeah, I'm looking at the SPYU, but it does fall in line with the SPY too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a little anomaly in platforms, because on my DOS, we do have less volume. So interesting.
Yeah. I don't know what to make out of that one.
Yeah, that's I don't see that often. They usually correlate not perfectly, because I'll see the high of a 5-minute candle over here being 656.55, and then I'll go on TradingView and I'll see that it's 656.52 or something. So they don't always correlate identically, if that's a word. I almost get the feeling like it's a rubber band that's being stretched out right now, and we're trying to figure out which direction to snap to. Are we going higher or lower? I feel that way with Apple. I feel that way with AMD, right? Just consolidating really tight range. I'm going to put Meta back on screen here. Ivo, do you ever trade futures?
No. Not yet, at least.
I like the leverage that futures offer.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that they often, well, there's more volume. There's more people getting involved from everywhere around the world, and the different sessions, London, Tokyo, can have really interesting impacts. And I love the fact that I took this sim trade on oil this morning, and it worked out perfectly. And it would have been one and done in, at 6 a.m. from 6 to 6:20. And
Wow.
then, when the setup occurred. And so that's why I'm getting back into it. And no time decay. That is the incredibly difficult part of day trading options, is time decay. I'm going to put AMD options on my screen. I want to see what the 205 puts are doing.
AMD's quite a shop fest.
Yeah.
Definitely stay away for the time being.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely waiting for the time being. It's just going sideways, but I want to see if it takes out the highs here. I want to see what the options chain is going to do, or what the put options are going to do. Or, I mean, I could be looking at the calls as well if it breaks out here. Either or will take off in one or the other direction. So I want to see large movement. Yeah, we're consolidating here on Microsoft as well. It almost feels like right before a news event, right? We're seeing the same thing in Meta. A lot of people are watching these and trying to figure out which direction we're going in. And until we have a better idea, I mean, this is very bearish on Meta right now. These 3 long wicks here on Meta are very interesting. I mean, if we break down below 599 here, it could be a continuation, right? But it could just wick down and find buyers and take off. So hard to tell. That's why I don't trade the initial move.
I even find the first half hour I'd like to stay away from.
Yeah.
Nowadays, and just give it a little more time. Like even on that trade that I shared in the screenshots with AMDL the other day that I missed, I sort of did calculations, and I actually would have made way more R getting in way later in the move when the risk was really small, and I could load the boat with shares versus getting in at that support level where that hammer formed.
Yeah.
The difference in R was huge. So I was like, wow, that was kind of like a eye-opening moment for me. Like, you don't have to get in even at those levels. I think the critical thing for me is to be able to get in where the risk is really small and I can really maximize my share size and keep the risk small. And the R return is just many fold more.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a big eye-opening moment for myself. I mean, there's more excitement at the open, and you know what? I'm not doing this for excitement. It's a good learning time. I find that you learn a lot about reading price action from 9:30 to 10 and figuring out patterns and direction and stuff. But getting involved, you're right. This was I mean, if you're going long at 194.37, actually, I'll bring up my tool in a minute here. But your stop loss, to be conservative, you would have to be below the wick. And if you really want to be conservative, you get below the actual long-term possible support. So that's a massive stop loss. So
Yeah.
if you get involved after this consolidation here, right, and you go long, once we break above structure here, we're making new highs, then your stop is way smaller. Maybe this candle here is not the best example because it's still a pretty big candle. But you're right, the structure later on in the day is way better than the open. And I don't want to speak for Avi, but I've heard him many times say that it's one of the reasons he doesn't trade the open anymore. There's so many opportunities later on. This is not zoomed in. Now this is, let's get back here. So that short on Meta that I was saying, right? This was very bearish. Wick on the break below the low here, right? Making new lows. And that's what I try to teach, is just right now we're below all these levels from yesterday. Right, yesterday's, obviously we're way below yesterday's high. This is pre-market high. This is pre-market low, which was below yesterday's low. PDC is all the way up here, and we're having trouble getting up there. Right, these wicks show that nobody wants to buy up here, right? Or sellers are in control. So once we make a new low below this this reverse hammer here, or below low of day, it's a higher probability that it's going to go lower. I'm not saying it's going to 450 or 550, but from here, if you can get your 3R, depending on where you put your stop, and this is a 5 minute, so you might have to zoom in to a 1 minute, right? You might want, actually, I'll do it on TradingView. It's just so much better as far as charting and as far as actually putting on the short tool. Right, so let's go to a 5 minute. This was a structure I was looking at. It is below S4, right? Which S4 can be a long or short, but you know, when you're below S4 and we're having trouble getting up above, then you zoom in, right? You go to the 1 minute, and you see that we're chopping around here, and then you get in short on the break here, and your stop can be above the wick, or it can be just right at S4. Or it can be just above your entry candle. That's very aggressive. But if you have the account size to be able to do it, right, just above the previous 1 minute, and then aim for 3R, right? Well, 3R was hit in pretty much the following candle. Again, you need a large account because you have to be able to buy, for $100 risk, you need to be able to buy 161 shares at $600. So you need a nice size account, right? But this is why I love TradingView. Just you can do your analysis on it with the short tool here, and yeah, there we go. So that could have worked on options. I'm curious to see what it would have done. I no longer trade meta options. They're especially not meta options expiring today, but I guarantee you that that they went up considerably. Yeah, they're up 100% already.
You know who's having a strong movement to the upside, counter the market, is Oklo. I look at the derivative OKLL, but you could look at OKLO. I haven't done any charting on it, but it definitely one of the movers. I don't know if there's news on that or not.
Yeah, I'll bring it up in a minute. I'm just pissed off at myself that I missed this. This is what I was talking about. Break down, retest, kiss the level, zoom in, right? kiss the level, bearish candle, break of that bearish candle, short, 3R would have been met already. So, oh well, there will
Hope
be.
I didn't distract you.
No. That's, I know what I'm getting into here, Evo, and whether I take a trade or not, it doesn't bother me at all. However, this one that I said that's what I'm looking for that's my strategy right there. The breakdown, the retest, and the move lower. I'm not looking for 350. I'm looking for 3R. So let's bring it up here. Let's analyze Tesla. Right, that was a breakdown. Let's go during the trading session. I'm on the 5-minute. So this was the breakdown. This here, I'll put a level because I'll do it this weekend. I will have the same levels, the same horizontal lines. I will have them on TradingView that I have on DOS. Alt H, there you go. So that was the level that I was looking at. It came and retested it, right? It broke down, came and retested. That's where I zoom in to the 1-minute or the 2-minute. This is where it retested. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's get rid of this from another day, just so that there's less information here. Be careful of this area here, right? We drew this in pre-market. This could absolutely be support, right? And it's so interesting to see it, touch it, and then, and then support. So let's just say that I had gone in short here on the touch with a bearish candle. Well, and then you would see this on the tape. You would see that there's selling involved here. So that would be the entry. The stop would be above the level. And 3R was right there, right after the break. Yeah. Actually, so entry to 3 minutes later would be 3R. And the way that I trade, this would have been an 80%. Right? At 3R, I would have taken 80% off. I would have left 20% back at break even, and I would hold. I would hold, probably look to see, is it going to come and touch S6 here? And if it does, and I don't see any buying, then just hold on to it. Right? So anyway, I wish I had taken that just to show that, instead of doing it after the fact. But that's what I was looking at. And you were saying OKLO?
Mm-hmm.
OKLO, are you sure? It does.
I was kind of checking that one out. Also looking at Rivian too.
Nothing's coming up here.
I'm looking at OKLL, but I think it's Oklo, OKLO.
Yeah, OKLL comes up.
But that's the leverage ETF of Oklo.
ETF.
Yeah.
OKLO. Okay, it comes up, but it doesn't come up here.
Huh.
Not for because I'm in futures. That's why. There you go. My bad. Another NYSE stock. Yeah, this is interesting right now. This that is one massive gap here. Wow. From the close to the open, that just shows me there's the bid-ask spread here is massive. Right, we closed this candle here, but then opened up here. So on a $55 stock, and that's a 50-cent spread. But this was the break. There's a possible level right here. Right, so if it comes, I want to see what does it do here. Right, does it dip down and then buy? There's a lot of selling involved. I don't know this ETF, so I don't know what this volume would mean, but that's a lot of volume. That's a massive volume candle. It's printing red. However, with a massive candle like that, you would assume that it would give you a massive price candle, which it did not. So is it just retesting right now? And I'm on the 1 minute, by the way. Is it just retesting, or are we going to retest and make new highs? So interesting here. I do not like the price action on this thing. You're putting in like a huge gap here and then a massive candle right here. Massive candle, but was it really a lot of volume? It's hard to tell over here. Why isn't it showing me volume? Anyway, yeah, interesting level right here. Be curious to see how these candles print.
Yeah, and Rivian, RIVN, is selling off quite aggressively. So keeping my eye out on that as well. I like directional movement, either up or down, like very strong.
Yeah.
For my plan. So I also had to look at SMCI on my charts. It's just kind of hanging out. It had some bad news.
Yeah, I was talking about it this morning. They their CEO as well as a few other employees apparently being charged for selling equipment, NVIDIA equipment to China, even though they're not, China's not supposed to be buying NVIDIA equipment.
Yeah, bad.
Yeah, so the Meta short here worked out well. The Tesla break and retest short here worked out well. I wanted to see if we're showing support at this level on the Qs. We do not seem to show support at pre-market low. So let's analyze QQQ, because that is something that I would get involved in options. There you go. We're on the 30 minutes. So let's get rid of this. Too many drawings. There we go. Yeah, that is a big 30-minute candle here. But see this level over here. Where are we going? Right, are we going over here? Pretty much exactly where price is. Zoom into this structure here. There you go. We've got a line of 580. Yeah, making lows, making lows. If we pull back into this area over here, this might be a breakdown. Come and retest S4 area, 588. I'm going to put an alert here. Just below 5. You know what? I'll even put a little bit lower over here. So if we pull back into this area later on, this might be a breakdown and a retest for the move lower. And over the next few days, we could be making our lows back down to 580 as as a first target. I mean, we on the higher time frame, I mean, this thing can go down. There's a lot of room. Oh no, that was the level I had here. So yeah, the 580 here on a higher time frame. And then if we break that structure, I mean, we could potentially be making our way down here. There we go. Wouldn't be surprised if we start finding some buyers over here, but I think stuff needs to happen in the news for us to be able to start buying over here. Okay, let's go back to the 5. Yeah, if we pull back to this area here, the first half hour is over, so I would really start looking at this. I would want it to stair step the way back to the S4 area. And then I'd like to see what happens. Do we buy to start recuperating? Like what happened yesterday? I mean, this was a massive volume. I don't know if there was news yesterday. I wasn't really paying attention because I'm home with my family, but I looked at TradingView and saw that, wow, that was quite the spike. So these big 5-minute candles here always look like news. Okay, we're back on the 5-minute on everything. There you go. So looking at structure. Apple is interesting over here. Hold up again. Interesting structure, but not something I would necessarily take. The AMD did not show me the entry signal at the top here, but we could tell it was having trouble. When we have these lines are on there for a reason. For me, they're incredibly important. Many traders look at these levels: previous day high, pre-market high, and previous day close, or PCL as DOS calls it. But it's having trouble finding buyers above this level, because I mean the stock, just in simple terms, stock is too expensive up here. So nobody wants to buy. Nobody wants to buy here. It's supply and demand. You got to go find buyers. Where are the buyers? They're at the lows, right? Or lower.
Looks like Rivian is attempting to bounce here at this level around $15.
Yeah, I smile when I hear Rivian. I find that to be such a
former support level from the 16th, about 4 days ago, where it bounced. So yeah, the $15 level is right around $15. It dropped a little bit below, maybe $14.83, but $15 on March 16th was kind of a bounce area where it's bounced up since then. And we just printed a green inverted hammer on the 5-minute chart with a pretty good amount of volume. I mean, I'm not going to just jump in right now. I'm going to let it sort of play out and see. But
yeah. Yeah, careful. I mean, you've heard the expression of catching a falling knife, right? What I see over here is fair size breakdown. It is below S4. I would like to see it come back over here, stair step over here. And from here, I just personally, Evo, depending on the price action over here, I would short it for the move down to the actual level here. Right, so that was the low over here. And again, not trading advice. I'm just saying what it is that I'm looking for. Do not change your strategy because of what I'm saying. But this is and I'm not going to do it because I don't trade Rivian. But especially below S4 over here, when it had trouble making it above, I'll be curious to see what plays out. Let's look at it later.
Yeah, I want to give it a little bit of time. If that $15 level really holds, it'll bounce from there and more or less give me an ABCD pattern under VWAP or something.
Yeah, let's keep it on screen here.
Yeah, no trades for me yet. I don't know. Has anyone taken any trades yet?
Shane, unfortunately, I missed what was on screen when you said quick profit takers here. 10:03. That was a couple minutes, 5 minutes ago. NVIDIA could be finding support at yesterday's low. Like we said in pre-market, right? This level is where we wick down. We found a lot of buyers. Are they still there? Do they still have their wallets open to buy at 175.80 area? Or are we breaking down, retesting for the further move down? The structure on SPY looks interesting as well. We're going down, retested, could not make it above the opening price. Came down, retested, retesting this area over here. I've got the puts on screen. I want to see if we're really coming down. SPY starting to form, waiting for pullback to 655. Yeah, if it makes it to 655, the move looks like it could happen anytime soon. The structure of this 5-minute candle here is very telling. Q's also behind pre-market, or sorry, below pre-market low. I might take a position on SPY if it breaks down below here. I'd have to see a lot of selling. Just bring my so the candle closed indecision. Do I wait? Just going to bring up my options calculator up. So that would be around 236. Stop there. Okay. So yeah, I'm looking at the same thing, Shane, to see if we pull back to this area, or it might actually be, let's bring up the actual price here. Yeah, 664.60 area. Or we may just flush from here. Going to see the SPY on the 2-minute.
I wonder if anyone went short Tesla.
Yeah.
I was looking at it. May I share my screen real quick?
Of course.
So again, I'm always looking at the leveraged ETFs. So in this case, I look at TSLQ, which is that's a leveraged 2x short of Tesla. And so this is my pattern, right? You get a strong initial move, you get a bit of a sell-off, but the key for me is that we had increasing volume on this second red candle, and so I wouldn't have gotten into it. So sometimes, that's kind of what I rely on. And had the inverse been true, that volume was declining on this second red candle, that would have been a great entry for a long on this inverse ETF. But because I saw the volume profile increase on the second red candle, I just decided to stay out.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. So on SPY, yeah, that was the short here. This is, I should take a picture of this because this is exactly how I trade the breakdown and retest. Has to be at a level, has to get through it with momentum. In other words, it just disregards the level. Then it comes and retests the level almost to the penny, and then puts in a bearish candle. And then short from there, aim for 3R minimum. If you don't get 3R from there to higher support, then you don't take it. What the Q is going to do here, they're going to put in a new low. They did. But are we panicking, or Q is 586 puts? It's not a massive move. I mean, the puts don't seem to be increasing in price, even though Qs are going down. And so we might be finding buyers here. in a bit of a pop on Q's, put price action. But on a big bearish candle like this, usually you would expect the put options to just skyrocket, and I'm not seeing it. So are we finding buyers here? Q's is approaching S6.
Well, they say the best kind of trading is the boring kind, right, Jill?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and we're proving that here. I'm now looking at the call price action just to see if we see the volume and the spike in the calls instead, and I don't see it there either. So that just goes to show that there's it's not a panic yet, right? Not that it usually is, but well, when you see a massive spike, there's a little bit of a gap here in the calls. Okay, I'm sorry, you're not seeing what it is I'm looking at here. I'm looking at the, right now I've got the 585 calls, which is a long signal or long position. So on the 1 minute, we did put in a bit of a gap, and there's a bit of a movement long. And the book on Qs is heavier on the ask. $155. $9.18, I'm going to be cutting out in the next little while. I don't know if anybody in here is interested in futures, and I don't know if you caught Amal's presentation yesterday. It was on prop firms, and it was a great presentation. And that's what I'm going to be doing starting Monday. So I'm going to be doing a combine, basically an evaluation with Top Step. And I'll be sharing my screen and sharing my journey getting back into futures. So anybody interested, come in and watch with me. I'm going to be doing the same analysis as I do here, because I do this for my students as well, just trying to teach price action, supply, demand, support, resistance, the different patterns that I trade. I'm going to be trading the same patterns with futures, basically 3, possibly 4 different setups on either side. Yeah, that's what I'll start doing on Monday. I will also be taking trades on equities for the time being. through my DOS. So I'll have this, but I will also have the Top Step platform, and I will also be using TradingView. And I will be linking TradingView to my IB account. Not right away, but soon, to be able to trade futures through TradingView as well. So there's going to be a lot of different things for people wanting to learn about futures. Options, I might get into teaching that as well, but right now I'm going to concentrate on futures. Sideways price action on Qs and SPY here is very interesting. I'd like to see the retest of 587 on Qs. 655 is too much right now for the retest. So now that it's broken down below pre-market low, I'd like to see it retest possibly the 653.50 area and reject. And then if that happened, then we could see a further move down. Seeing a little bit of buying in Microsoft. Microsoft was at a level on TradingView. Microsoft had a level, it's a little bit lower, 381.60 area. So we didn't take out the lows from February 24th. But that is where we found some buyers. So we could be finding buyers over here. It is also showing the possibility of the breakdown and then the retest of that level, right, for a possible further move down. So until we see who's in control, I do nothing. AMD at an interesting level. This was a higher time frame area of support and resistance that I had there for a while. It is a psychological number at 200. So interesting to see what's going to happen here. Microsoft seems to be putting in that bearish candle. 2-minute time frame is very bearish. On the 1 minute, did not print a fair value gap. A Rivian trade from earlier is just going sideways right now. There's that second retest on Tesla. It did put in a 1 minute time frame double bottom. So pretty much where it is right now, right up to 373.50 area. It's an interesting zone. Right now we're buying. Just to show what I'm looking at. I think this was the higher time frame zone that we put in on Tesla. That is a big market middle finger candle right here. That is a massive volume candle with not a lot of movement down, right? So if it were selling, you would expect that this would be printing a larger candle. So this could be a reversal signal. There could be a lot of people getting into positions at this point. So interesting area.
Above alert.
That's on Microsoft. Oh, I wanted to see if it retested. That's what I put in there. Microsoft. Broke down. It's retesting this area. Right now, the buyers are in control. This was a higher time frame level. Meta seems to be doing the same type of retest. Right where it is right now. It'd be interesting to see what kind of candle it prints. AMD right at the level. Breakdown, retesting on Google. This candle right here will be interesting. If it closes below yesterday's low, could be further move down. Yeah, a few more minutes and I'm going to walk away. I'm going to set a couple levels on TradingView so I get the alerts later on if they happen. But like I said, I was unlikely to take a trade. However, I would have taken this this break and retest on Tesla. I would not have taken the short of AMD here, personally, because it did not show me the signal. Going short at the break of this bearish candle here, or even the reverse hammer here, with the stop above, could have been a good entry on AMD. I hope anybody took that. With a profit target of yesterday's low, which we just breached. Now we're hovering around 200.
I'm going to split for a few minutes. I'll probably be back. But hey, Sheila, just want to thank you very much again, and have a great upcoming weekend.
Yeah, thanks. Same to you. And I'll be back on Monday. And appreciate you being in here and everybody else. Yeah, VIX increasing. That's important to share. Thanks for sharing that. VIX increasing, saying that, you know what, we're worried about the levels of SPY and Qs right now. If they break down below and start dumping, you can expect VIX to increase as well. So yeah, with that, I'm going to cut out as well. Almost 10:30. Interesting price action of what's going on today. Decent RVOL. So I might stick around here for a few minutes just to see if there's something I can set and forget, get into, and just walk away. But I'll be back on Monday, and hopefully I can get everything organized for the Top Step combine that I'm planning on starting. So have a great weekend, everyone. See you on Monday.